Good evening, everyone. So we'll be continuing our lecture on the current affairs for the last week. This Wednesday I was not available because of the COVID vaccination. So we'll be taking off our lecture for the last week when we have covered all the important topics. And if you feel that any topic is left and that you believe is important, you can tell me through the comment section, as you know, and I'll be taking them up, okay? Because what I believe is that these topics are very important, the ones which I take, and I have two parameters which decide what topic should I take. Okay, the first one is the kind of the multidimensionality that the topic carries with it. Okay, so the first thing is that, and the second one is of course the importance of the topic with respect to the prelims as well as the mains exam. So you can read almost everything on your own, but what I try here to do is to declutter the things and to make the things easier for you to understand, so that the things which have multidimensional aspects, okay, which have interconnectedness between the dimensions and domains like polity, economy, okay, and all these domains, when they get interconnected, they sometimes create confusions. I try to address those topics here, okay, and these topics are the favorite ones of UPSC. From my experience, I can tell you the topics that we have been dealing here, they are very important from prelims, mains, interview, all the aspects. You should always focus on what I have been teaching here. Now we'll be starting with the e-RUPI. Okay. Now what is e-RUPI? The first thing that you need to believe is that this is not a digital currency, because the name sounds like a misnomer, because e-RUPI sounds like e-coin, yeah, e-currency, but it is not a digital currency. Okay. Some companies have launched digital currency, for example Facebook. Okay, Facebook का Libra है, ठीक है, and ऐसी और कुछ countries ने भी launch किया है, and they have also started accepting payments in form of digital currency. Even RBI is working on a scheme to implement a digital currency, but that scheme has not yet been launched. It has not yet been tested in India. So we'll be focusing on this. This is e-RUPI. This is not a digital currency. For the first, for the very important thing, the first thing that we need to remember is e-RUPI is not a digital currency. Okay. Now why news? Because Prime Minister has launched the e-RUPI scheme on the 2nd of the August 2021. So this scheme is a very novel scheme from the government point of view, because this is for the first time the government has tried to address such a kind of deficiency in payments of subsidies, and it is not limited to the government. It is the scope is very wide. Even corporates can use it. Okay, any service provider, for example corporate or any employer, they can also use this e-RUPI. We'll be understanding how this e-RUPI works and how corporate, government and other entities are going to use this e-RUPI. Okay. Now this is a voucher based payment system. This is a voucher based, ठीक है. तो voucher based का सबसे important meaning ये हुआ कि आपको एक voucher मिलेगा, like Amazon पे voucher मिलता है, right? तो वो voucher आप, तो यहाँ पे trick क्या है, Amazon vouchers जो होते हैं, okay, Amazon vouchers are preloaded, ठीक है, preloaded with some kind of money, ठीक है. Amazon voucher for example आपको ₹250 का मिल गया, तो that means like you shop online, use Flipkart or Amazon, तो वहाँ पे आपको ये vouchers मिल सकते हैं, you can purchase them. If for example if you purchased a voucher and you gifted it to your brother or sister, ठीक है, तो आपने basically क्या किया, you gave them ₹250 which can be redeemed on Amazon and Facebook, right? Amazon and Facebook voucher of course can be redeemed on these sites only, right? तो आपने क्या किया, you purchased an Amazon voucher, you paid ₹250 and then you transferred this voucher to your sister or brother or to any person whom you wish to, ठीक है. तो that person can make a purchase of ₹250 on Amazon, ठीक है, and this is called voucher based payment system, ठीक है. This is not a new concept, but what is new about this concept is now the government is trying to use this scheme or this payment method to increase the reach of subsidy, या to increase the targeted subsidies, ठीक है. तो इसलिए ये important है. Now this is a voucher based payment system. Now how it works, okay? The first one is government or corporates. Second unit is bank. Now, I would like you to have a look on this. First one is government or corporate, second one is bank, third step is beneficiary, and the fourth step is service provider. Now we will try to understand how this scheme works. For example, the aim is to provide a food coupon. ठीक है, जैसे अभी माइग्रेंट लेबर्स के लिए बहुत सारा डिस्ट्रेस का सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो गया था. In that case, addressing the targeted delivery of food coupons, yeah, addressing the issue of targeted delivery of food to the migrant laborers was a difficult task. ठीक है. Now what government has done कि यहाँ पे जो first step है, ठीक है, the first step is कि गवर्नमेंट का एम क्या है. गवर्नमेंट का एम है कि गवर्नमेंट फूड कूपन्स प्रोवाइड करे माइग्रेंट लेबर्स को या किसी भी सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी को, या हेल्थ, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपको कोई हेल्थ रिलेटेड सब्सिडी मिल रही है, फॉर एग्जांपल 5,000 रुपीज़ की आपको सब्सिडी चाहिए जो आप इंटाइटल्ड है. ठीक है, तो व्हाट गवर्नमेंट विल डू इज कि गवर्नमेंट विल आस्क द बैंक, गवर्नमेंट विल पे द बैंक, ठीक है, पे द बैंक, ठीक है, ₹5,000, ठीक है, एंड देन दे विल आस्क, दे विल गिव द बैंक अ लिस्ट कि इन लोगों को आप 5,000 रुपीज़ के कूपन भेज दीजिए. ठीक है, तो अब ये कूपन, ठीक है, ये बैंक फॉर एग्जांपल SBI है. ओके, नाउ SBI, व्हाट SBI विल डू, SBI विल मेल स्पेशल टोकन्स या OTP या QR कोड टू दीज पीपल whose names the government has provided. Okay, now these people will these beneficiaries will receive a QR code, okay, or OTP through SMS. Understood? These OTPs, now these beneficiaries can go to service provider, example hospital. Understood? Or for example PDS shop. Now you can see government wanted to provide some specific subsidy to some users of this country. ठीक है, now government has the list of the people whom it wants to transfer that subsidy. Okay, पहले क्या होता था, if you try to understand कि how is this different from the original method of provision of subsidy. ठीक है, तो originally what happened was, this is government, this is bank, okay, this is beneficiary. तो government transferred ₹5,000 to bank. Now what happened, this person will have to open a bank account, and then this 5,000 rupees will be transferred to that person's account. This is the standard procedure that usually happened, or that was intended to happen. ठीक है, but what happened was there was a lot of corruption in transfer of subsidies. How? These banks they opened false accounts, okay, with the name of beneficiaries, imaginary beneficiaries, and they transferred all these accounts, all this money to these false accounts, and then they claimed it for themselves. This was one kind of corruption. The second kind of corruption that usually happened was कि okay, bank said कि for example this is Mr. XYZ, ठीक है, bank said that I have received ₹5,000 as your entitlement to XYZ. Now bank officer says that you will have to give me ₹300, is a very minimal sum, ठीक है, you give me ₹300 and I will give you 4,700. ठीक है, तो in the first instance it might sound very like awkward कि how will bank do this, but in reality on the ground it happens right now also, it happens. So what happened was, due to this corruption, bank officer took 300 rupees as a bribe for providing him ₹4,700. So this person was entitled to ₹5,000, but he got only ₹4,700. This is a kind of leakage. ठीक है. This leakage was the result of corruption. Now to address this corruption, what government has done now, okay, what government has done now is that it has eliminated the role of an intermediary. In the earlier system, bank was intermediary between the beneficiary and the government. Understood? Now what the government has done is that it has removed the role of intermediary. अब क्या होगा? ये बैंक है, okay, this is government, this is beneficiary, again Mr. XYZ, okay. Now government will ask the bank that you generate 5 coupons, you generate 5 coupons, ठीक है, और ये 5 coupons को मैसेज कर दो इन यूजर्स के नंबर पे, ठीक है. वन ऑफ देम इज XYZ. तो अब XYZ के मोबाइल पे एक OTP आ गया, मान लो 1579, ठीक है. अब ये 1579 OTP इनको मिला है सो दैट ये अपना फूड सब्सिडी ले सके. तो ये क्या करेंगे, ये पीडीएस शॉप पे जाएंगे, ठीक है, पीडीएस शॉप पे जाएंगे और पीडीएस शॉप पे ये कहेंगे कि आई हैव रिसीव्ड दिस फूड कूपन या फूड वाउचर, प्रोवाइड मी राइस वर्थ ₹50. फॉर एग्जाम्पल दिस कूपन is worth ₹50. So what will he do? He will enter his coupon in a biometric, like for example in an online portal and verify. तो यहाँ पे 1579 जैसे ही एंटर किया तो इनको 5 kg का entitlement allot हो गया, and this XYZ will get 5 kg of rice. Now the intermediary of the bank has been eliminated. Why? Because bank का direct connection Mr. XYZ से खत्म हो गया. This will remove the leakage of the subsidy. This is the intention of the government. Understood? Again, I hope you understood. ये तो government का हो गया. Now corporates can also benefit from this scheme. How? What corporates will do, even corporates give their employees certain kind of benefits, okay. So corporates will, instead of giving them cash or instead of giving them money in their bank account, they will directly provide vouchers like this, okay, and then they will go to the service provider. That is how e-RUPI works. तो यहाँ पे दो चीजें समझ में आई. The first one is for e-RUPI to work, you need not have an internet connection. Why? It is a simple OTP or a QR code that will be messaged, okay, that will be messaged through a phone. So there is no need of even having a smartphone. Even a basic phone or a feature phone will work, because your whole purpose is to receive an OTP or some kind of token, ठीक है, digital token. So that is one benefit, that the role of what smartphone or the internet connectivity has been removed. That is the one of the biggest benefits, ठीक है. Now features of what are the features whenever we are reading about some scheme. So we already have discussed as to what we are looking for. The first one is who has launched the scheme or who has launched this payment method. The first one is NPCI, National Payments Corporation of India. Department of Financial Services, it is under the Ministry of Finance. As I already have discussed, we have to always remember all the departments within the Ministry of Finance. That is very important. You just cannot afford to skip it. You just have to note down as to which department belongs to which ministry. At least for Finance Ministry, you will have to remember it, because there have been certain questions, like it has been also mentioned in the syllabus, you will have to remember the departments of the ministries. So at least like HRD ministry, HRD ministry तो अब रही नहीं, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Health, ठीक है. तो अब इन तीनों चारों like 3-4 ministries का आपको department याद होना बहुत ही जरूरी है, because it might come in an exam. For example, कि which department publishes, which department prepares the budget, which department prepares the economic survey, which department prepares, like which department in which ministry prepares the does the labor survey, ठीक है. तो ये सारी चीजें you will have to understand the basic of the governance of country. You cannot skip it. Understood? So launched by NPCI plus Department of Financial Services under the Ministry of Finance. उसके बाद National Health Authority. Now National Health Authority is under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, it is the implementing agency of Ayushman Bharat. This is also very important information. Plus partner banks. As we saw that the partner banks are also very important. Although the role as an intermediary, having direct connection with the beneficiary has been removed, but still partner banks are the most important entity because they will be the ones who will be providing the tokens or the redeemable vouchers to users. Okay. Second important thing is this is one time payment mechanism. That means once you have made the payment, it expires. Okay, the token, the value of the token expires. You cannot make double payments from it. Okay. No need for internet connection, as we saw. You don't need to have an interconnection. Even a smartphone is not required. You need to have only one phone which can accept messages. Okay. It will help the issuer, of course, corporate and the government track the payment as well. Okay. Like बहुत important जो पब्लिक फाइनेंस का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पोर्शन है, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट अगर नहीं भी तो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पोर्शन है, दैट इज ट्रैकिंग द एलोकेशन ऑफ मनी. Money gets allocated, money gets transferred, but what happens is in the end mile, in the last mile, it is very important to track whether the money that was transferred to a person was actually available for that person to use or not. Understood? That is why it is very important that the people who are transferring money, or the government or the corporate, whoever is issuing that money, is making sure that the intended beneficiary is getting it. Okay. It will eliminate the intermediary bank that we have already understood. Now, what are the benefits to corporates? Corporates can enable well-being of the employees, as we understand, because enabling the well-being of an employee is also a part of very important corporate governance. Okay. A good employee, a happy employee makes your company happier. Understood? End-to-end digital transaction and doesn't require any physical issuance. End-to-end digital transaction and does not require any kind of physical card. Okay, that means the cost of issuing the card, the cost of maintaining the card, the cost of maintaining that transaction through the card, like ATMs, has been reduced, has been eliminated. Now the voucher redemption can be tracked by the issuer. The person who has issued the voucher can track the use of the voucher. Okay, quick, safe and contactless. To hospitals. अब हॉस्पिटल्स क्यों? बिकॉज एज वी सॉ दैट द पीपल हु हैव डेवलप्ड दिस ऐप, NPCI is also a member of that. National Health Authority is also a member of that. Why has National Health Authority collaborated? That is the first question. Because आयुष्मान भारत में जो entitlements हैं उनको प्रोवाइड करना इस स्कीम के थ्रू, e-RUPI के थ्रू बहुत ईजी हो जाएगा. ओके. That is why it is very important that hospitals के लिए, क्योंकि जो beneficiaries हैं, beneficiaries hospital जाते हैं services avail करने के लिए. अब इन beneficiaries के लिए, for example, अगर हम इसको basic समझना चाहें, it is very important to understand things. Okay, you can always read things, but आप remember उतना ही, retain उतना ही कर पाएंगे the amount you understand. That is why it is very important to understand all these aspects. These are the aspects of governance. ठीक है, e-governance basically. तो अगर एग्जांपल हम ये हॉस्पिटल का कंसीडर करें, ठीक है, तो गवर्नमेंट हैज प्रोवाइडेड सम एंटाइटलमेंट्स टू द हॉस्पिटल. अब एंटाइटलमेंट टू द बेनिफिशियरीज. फॉर एग्जांपल दिस मिस्टर XYZ, अगेन this person is having some entitlements under the Ayushman Bharat. Okay, he wants to go to the hospital and claim his entitlement. Now what happens is कि hospital वाले लोग कहते हैं कि मतलब there are many bureaucratic hurdles, as we say. Bureaucratic in the sense कि hospital में आपको बहुत सारे papers produce करने पड़ेंगे, documentation and all. अगर आपके पास सीधे एक voucher है, ठीक है, तो आपको किसी documentation की जरूरत नहीं है, किसी प्रकार के like you will cut the chase. Okay, you will cut the hurdles. ठीक है, बहुत सारे जो steps होंगे आप उनसे बच जाएंगे and you can directly avail the benefits. You can say I have this OTP and I want to avail my benefits. तो the entitlement of rights, है ना, तो access to that entitlement becomes easier. Understood? That is why it is very important. That is why it is very important कि government directly tracks Okay, the government will track the access or the use of the vouchers. The government will be making sure कि the subsidy that the government is providing is provided to the intended beneficiary only. अब इसको हॉस्पिटल फर्टिलाइजर बेनिफिट्स में भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, बहुत सारी सब्सिडीज में डायरेक्ट पेमेंट स्कीम का यूज कर सकते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड ई-RUPI. ओके, to consumers, of course, contactless. Beneficiary should not carry a printout of the voucher. There is no need. Easy redemption, two-step redemption. आपको अपना OTP बताना है और it will be easy. आप पहले तो OTP आएगा, फिर OTP आपको बताना है, you will be able to redeem it. Safe and secure. It does not require any internet connection. Okay, it only requires one basic mobile connection that has the ability to receive an SMS on the registered mobile number, of course. तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारी पर्सनल डिटेल्स, बायोमेट्रिक डिटेल्स, उन सारी चीज़ों का क्लटर खत्म हो गया. I have this OTP, I have this number, I am the intended beneficiary, I want to avail it, take my OTP and give me the service. It is as simple as that. तो it is a major milestone in the e-governance sector. ठीक है, तो e-governance क्या है? बेसिक गवर्नेंस क्या है? गवर्नेंस इज डिलीवरी ऑफ सर्विसेज, डिलीवरी ऑफ गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज टू पीपल, दैट इज गवर्नेंस. तो e-governance, delivery of services from government to people using electronic mode. So this method is going to simplify the e-governance, or this method is going to simplify the lives of the people.